Hello everyone. Hopefully your day is going well. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Ismail Abbasi. I'm working as an assistant professor in higher education department. Today I would talk about recognizing run-on sentences and fragments in English grammar. As the pictures displayed before you show that people are running in one picture and stone is broken into two pieces in another picture. So, what are these particular concepts? How do they help us in our communication? And what are the strategies to recognize and to avoid these two elements in our daily communication? In order to understand these two concepts, first we have to look at what a sentence is. What is a complete sentence? A complete sentence have both a subject and a verb in it. The subject is either a noun or a pronoun and is what the sentence is about. Nouns are either pronouns, places, or things such as Annalisia, New York, mice, or he, she, it. The verb shows action or a state of being. An action word is a word like write or run. State of being, verbs are conjugations of the verb to be. Example, I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you are, they are. These verbs can also be in all the verb tenses such as past tense, present tense, or future tense. For example, I was, I am, or I will be. So, in a way, a sentence is something that conveys a complete sense in our communication and in our correspondence. Here you can see that run on sentences are the opposite of sentence fragments. While fragments are incomplete sentences, run ons jam together two or more sentences, failing to separate them with appropriate punctuation. And while fragments are sometimes acceptable, especially in informal writing and communication, run on sentences are never accepted. So here we can see that fragments are smaller parts, smaller sections, while the run-ons are something that are made out of lack of communication through the utility of proper punctuation. When punctuation is not properly followed, then these run-on sentences are created. So let's look at some more detail related to these concepts. Fragments. First of all, fragments are incomplete sentences. They have a subject and a verb, but no complete thought. Fragments look like sentences. Sometimes they are even punctuated like sentences. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them give you a bad grade. Here you can see that the examples of the fragments, if you can spot fragments which can be in a short form, that is, if you can spot fragments, you are ahead of the game. So you are ahead of the game is missed Here in this sentence, if you can spot fragment is a fragment. Even though Seattle is cloudy much of the year. Here it is a fragment which can be fixed as even though Seattle is cloudy much of the year, many people love living there. So you can see that how fragments are shorter version of the sentences. On the other hand, the example of run on can be seen through this particular example, which states, I don't recall what kind of printer it was. All I remember is that it could sort, staple, and print a rim of paper at the same time. Fixed. Here you can see that what kind of printer it was. Here there is no comma, there is no full stop. All I remember is that it could sort, staple, and print a RAM at the same time. So let us fix this particular example. I don't recall what kind of printer it was. So here full stop is there. All all would start from capital A. All I remember is that it could sort, staple, and print a rim of paper. Example number two. I don't recall what kind of printer it was. Here you can see the semicolon is used. All I remember is that it could staple, sort, and print. So you can see in the first example, it was the full stop and the capital letter that was the missing, whereas in second correction, it was the semicolon that was missing. Here, third one can be seen as although I don't recall what kind of printer it was, comma, I do remember that it could sort, print a rim of paper all at the same time. So here you can use the comma as well. So we can see that run-on sentences lack these particular commas, semicolons, or full stops. So how to recognize all these? First, read out, read aloud. If your sentence sounds strange, you may have one or the other, even fragments or run on. Next, ask yourself if your sentence sounds incomplete. If so, you may have a fragment. Now you have now you need to add what is missing, subject or a verb. Third one, if you are reading aloud, you seem to ramble and go on and on. You may have a run on. There are about 5 ways to cure these, which we would talk in detail. So, how to see how to just when you uh, fix these particular fragments. So let us look at some of the examples, which are the examples of fragments when the party started. So this is the example which is missing. Everybody was dancing. As soon as they got there, the missing part is we will go out to eat. Whenever the traffic gets heavy, the explanation that is missing, I get frustrated. To find a job in another city is very difficult. So, is very difficult is missing. Running laps every day. Running laps every day is good for your health. Over the hill and around the corner. So here you can see that around the corner her house is. So here her house is missing because Sandra is feeling ill. The missing part is she won't be able to play in the game tonight. So here you can see we miss or skip some of the information which we think that the shared knowledge with the audience, with the people to whom we are engaged in the process of communication, that is understandable and people can easily understand our ideas. So few sentences or run-on sentences, they are joined together by two independent clauses with no punctuation marks and connecting the idea, and have created a fused and run of sentences. Fused sentences cause confusion, and the error generally occurs when the writer tries to cram too many ideas into one sentence and organize your thoughts so that the error doesn't happen. So, here are some of the examples of run on sentences or fused sentences. Louis didn't feel like coming to work. She called Robin pretending to be sick. So, here you can see that the next sentence, Geoff is a hawk, Matt is a tiger, pet, and so you have to separate them. How these sentences have two ideas crammed into one. So here you can see that didn't feel like coming to work and the she called Robin. So here between the work and called, something was missing. Likewise, Jeff is a hockey, Matt is a tiger. Here, something also a punctuation mark is missing. Likewise, Pat and Celeste teach English 101. They read hundreds of papers a semester. So here between 101 and they, something is missing, a full stop, a comma, or a semicolon, and also the capital letter. So too many ideas combined together and not being separated according to the logical order. To add a period between two independent clauses could solve this problem. To add a semicolon or to add a comma and a coordinating conjunction like and but however, something like that could also solve the problem. Add a coordinating conjunction between two independent clauses and a subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, and add the comma between the two independent clauses could solve the problem. So it this slide also talks about the same thing, where you need to add full stop or comma or semicolon between independent clauses that are being used, that are being utilized. So depending upon the idea or the concept, you would be using the joining words like also, however, of course, as a result, in addition, on the other hand, beside, in fact, then, finally, instead, therefore, meanwhile, thus. So you would be using the same thing again in these particular ideas or in these particular words. So the example that is there before you, that can be seen through this particular example, and the detail of the dependent words is also given in this particular slide. So method of fixing a fragment: if there is no subject, add a subject; if there is no verb, add a complete verb; and if the sentences begin with a subordinate clause, and is there a main clause in that sentence? If there is no main clause, then remember to make it complete and give the complete idea and connect both subject and the predicate according to the idea. Because of the rain, Bella is the fastest runner at the Olympics. She races. So these are some examples that can be fixed, like because of the rain, we were unable to play the game. Similarly, Bella is the fastest at the Olympics. She wins races constantly. Likewise, here in the particular example, there are further example shows no improvement of the vital sign, and the answer could be he shows no improvement in any of the vital sign. So likewise, you can match both the slide number 10 and slide number 9 with each other in order to complete the fragments in this particular session. So if you have any question, any query, any problem related to fragments and related to run-on sentences, you can reach me out through the comment section in this particular video. I hope that this lesson would be able to clarify the concepts related to recognizing run-on sentences and fragments which are easily observable when we see academic writing given to us by the students. So if you have any question, you can reach me out. For till that, till our next session, stay tuned, stay happy, and make others happy and blessed in this particular world. So Allah Hafiz and bye bye.